Okay, the one nice thing about I think the one nice thing about YouTube is it starts immediately. All right, I think we can start now. But let me first share this live stream to some of the people in our neighborhood. Copy. Let's share this one by one. And then, yep, it's copied. And I guess we can start right about now. All right, I guess we can start. All right, welcome to Soul of the Market. Yep, that's it. Let me put more light into our live stream. There you go. So welcome to Soul of the Market. We are now live once again here at YouTube live stream. Okay, so it's now April 10, 2012. That's the time, 2012. Not the year. The year is 2022, and it's already 1 week towards the second quarter of 2022. So that's how time flies right now. But by the way, let's talk about Bitcoin. Before we talk about Bitcoin, let's talk about what happened last week, what happened in the past few days before we go on to our Holy Week next week. And let's start first with something that I want to share to you. This is our tool that we developed way back more than a couple of years ago. Okay, so some people are asking whether we're still using the buying pattern. Of course, as we go on, previously the buying pattern is referred to as the swag buy signal. This is the swag trading system's buy signal. So when you cross over the SMA 20 over MA 13, it gives you the swag. It gives you the swag entry or the buy signal. This is the buying pattern. We're still using it. Okay. Contrary to what the other people are saying, we are still using the swag buying pattern whenever it is necessary. For Bitcoin, it's no longer necessary, okay? But because Bitcoin is something, Bitcoin is different. We're going to, I'm not going to try to explain it in one go, but as long as you're following this channel, you will realize Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin is not your cryptocurrency. I'm not going to refer to Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency or a crypto asset or even a crypto. Okay, Bitcoin is a proof of work. It's a proof of work technology. It's not just crypto. Crypto is you encrypt something, you encrypt a data and then send it to another end and then decrypt it. But that's crypto, okay? But Bitcoin is something else. Bitcoin is proof of work. It does more than encrypting and decrypting something. Okay? So that's the difference between Bitcoin and the other shitcoins. Okay? So now, let me go and share my screen about our tool regarding the swag buying pattern. Buying pattern kasi iba nalaos na, namatay na after 5 years. They keep on talking, they're exposing our meron silang exposed video regarding the swag. Gumawa sila ng scandal or gumawa sila ng sariling drama. But right now, I'm going to share to you how did we automate the buying pattern. Okay? So let me share my screen this time. Share it really, truly. Yes. Yeah. Alright. So for those of you who are watching from the other channels, those who are still not growing their money, still in the uh, using public transport to go to work, etc., etc. After 5 years of doing technical analysis, being expert in all technical analysis, or let's say being a technical analyst expert. In short, it's the TAE, okay, technical analysis expert. So they became, eventually these people became technical analysis expert, but that's the only thing they accomplished in the last 5 years. So we're going to do, what we're going to show you right now is the automation of what we have done with the swag buying pattern. Okay, so now let's go to our Alabang SX .com, Alabang Stock Exchange. And welcome to Alabang Venture Exchange. Actually, it's a venture exchange. This is our system that automates everything. It's a recommendation engine that automates recommendation from the local stock market, PSE only. Right now you're looking at the, not the future, but the present. It beats a lot of things. It beats everything that what others are trying to do right now. Okay, so now let's log in with our automated swag system, the buying pattern. Okay, so until now, I'm going to tell you, yung iba dyan, still reading the charts, okay, still wasting time and hours trying to make sense of the Bollinger Bands, of the Elliott Wave, and all these things. No, but we're no longer into that. We already advanced ourselves 10 years beyond these people, 10 years behind these people, with our, what, not cutting edge, but not even bleeding edge. It's the state of the art. Okay, so let me log in. Yan, mamatay kayo sa inggit. Close. Okay, so now this was the recommendation from the past. This was the recommendation from the past week of trading in PSE, in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Now you only have one card, which is Concrete B. I don't know what stock is that anymore, because I'm no longer looking at the chart. I'm not even visiting this site more often that I need to, because it's fully automated. I don't need to look at the charts, what to buy and then what to sell, etc., etc. This particular tool already automates everything and exactly tell me what to do whenever I see a yellow card and whenever I see something here below my list, because these are the list of recommended stocks that was derived from our algorithm, the swag buying pattern. Okay, it always made a good return from our subscribers right here. Okay, so yung subscriber namin, they will go into subscribe here, sign up, and then click on the pricing, and then go to the basic subscription monthly, and then they automatically get what? They automatically get access to our leads and commitments recommendation. So how does it work? For example, Concrete B. Our system saw Concrete B for the short. This is a free recommendation. The other one is not free. The table below is not free. This one is free. Okay, this one is free. Okay, so we go to more info. We click the more info, and then it will tell us you buy CAB at 63 to 63. So there's nothing changed. Just buy this from 63 to 63, and then if something happens, if it goes up to 6%, then you take profit, or if it goes down to minus 3%, then cut your losses immediately. So nothing fancy. All right, but it's damn more accurate than human think, that those hundreds of human beings on the other channel doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, and then below is the cream of the crop. Okay, Banco de Oro, Converge, ICT. We have ICT from we actually bought ICT from this recommendation engine, from this platform, starting at 95. Now the closing price was 225. So we're up more than 100% for our ICT now. So if you want to do more info, that just click here, more info, and then it will going to tell you how, when, and where to buy ICT. Okay, so you buy ICT at 225 to 218. That's the buying range. That's the buying pattern. Okay, this is what you call the buying pattern. It's now automated. Okay, no more guessing game. No more telling meaningless altruism. None of those stories, because the stories don't make you money. Okay, no more of that, any garbage that you hear from other from other channels trying to tell you the same garbage over and over again. No, we don't do that anymore. This is why we're focusing our time more on Bitcoin, because this is the stock market. The way we do things in the stock market is highly automated. Okay, we don't do technical analysis per charts per stock anymore. That is so 2015, that is so 2017, that is so passe. Okay, so we don't do that anymore. We are now in the AI, automated artificial intelligence. Sorry, the system is an AI, an artificial intelligence system. So we don't need to second guess. We don't need to think for that anymore. Okay, so less stress. You just watch how it happens during the trading hours, then you're good to go. Okay, so that's the swag buying pattern right here in your screen right now, fully automated. Got it? Okay, so meron ba sila niyan? Wala. Sorry about that. Okay. So much for the Alabang SX automated quotation, or the Alabang Venture Exchange automated quotation. Okay, so let's log out. Tingnan natin yung sinasabi nito. Meron pa kaming mga, what's your big idea? Looking to buy again at 10 months ago. Okay, maybe I could put my activity here. Yan. ICT now is 225. Is 225. Okay, so let's push enter. Yeah. Okay, so nag-update siya, para siyang Twitter, para siyang Facebook, meron kang posts to look at. Alright. Okay, so let's log out. Tingnan natin kung anong sasabihin sa log out. Okay. So last Friday, the system was able to recommend 2 billion worth of transactions. Okay? So, ganun lang. Simple lang. Okay. Yep. 2 billion worth. Total value of equities recommended as of today, that's actually as of Friday, is 2 billion worth of transactions. Who does that? Only soul of the market. Wala nang iba. No? Where can you grow your money? Only to yourself. Alright. So I guess now we can proceed to our to the more important part of our live stream, which is Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin. Wala na tayong pag-usapan. We're not going to talk about ICT, Banco de Oro, Concrete B. Those particular companies, they don't deserve any more time longer than Bitcoin. Okay, so let's go to our main topic now, and then let's discuss Bitcoin and inflation. Because right now we are at war, unrestricted war that started March 2020 during the start of pandemic. So we are at war right now, and this particular equities market shouldn't be the main thing that you should be that is part of your worries. Okay, that are part of your worries, hindi na to dapat iniintindi, dapat to automated, no? Okay, so anyone else, any group that is still doing this manually, forget about it. Okay, tapos na ang laban, ito na yon. Hindi, if you're going to catch up on this algorithm, wala na, tapos na ang laban, tapos na ang boxing. Okay? So, it's not worth debating anymore. It's not worth arguing with it anymore because the system is already doing it for us, recommending several stocks for us to trade on whenever we want to trade on the PSE. But that's not what we're doing anymore. Okay? We do that occasionally, but our main focus right now is on Bitcoin. Why? Now let's present our main topic. And how Bitcoin fixes everything. So why we are in Bitcoin? Because we believe, not only we believe, we're convinced that Bitcoin fixes everything. Alright? And the love of money is the root of all evil. It's written in the New Testament. Diba? Look it up. For the love of money, or for the love of fiat money, what we are holding right now, what we're transacting with right now is fiat money, which is the root of all evil. Bakit? Bitcoin is the opposite of inflation. Whether we disagree or not, you're going to find out that one Bitcoin is simply one Bitcoin. No matter where you look at it, no matter which planet you go, no matter which country you go, no matter which sovereign or government you work with, Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. No, it's not like $1 is equal to 50 Philippine peso. It doesn't work that way. Bitcoin is one Bitcoin no matter where you go. And then no matter how you push it, Bitcoin could be $42,000 right now, diba? But if I'm a Bitcoin miner, I can just sell Bitcoin at $30,000 per block, per coin, okay? I can just sell Bitcoin at however, no matter what price I want. I can probably sell Bitcoin at $2,000 just to crush the market, because Bitcoin doesn't care about what the market is doing. Okay? People, the financial gurus, they will just going to trade Bitcoin in the market, blah blah blah, Bitcoin for something, Bitcoin for this and that. Okay, but the truth is, one Bitcoin is just one Bitcoin. It doesn't care who is holding how much Bitcoin. Okay, because other miners are still mining Bitcoin. There are still 1 million Bitcoin. We already have mined 19 million Bitcoin last two weeks ago. Okay, we already mined 19 million Bitcoins. Then the last Bitcoin will be mined in the next 100 years. Okay, so I said that last year. Marvin Guermo just posted it 2 weeks ago. Right? So, how do you go into Bitcoin? You don't need to create an account in Bitcoin. You only need to create a wallet. You only need to sign up for a wallet address or a Bitcoin address. That's all you need. The account is for your exchange, so that the exchange can verify your identity. Okay? So that's the only time you're going to open an account for the exchange, not for the Bitcoin itself. And then you can start buying Bitcoin. And then you can start moving that address somewhere else and start moving your Bitcoin, paying in Bitcoin privately without anyone knowing who you are. Okay? But that doesn't give you an excuse to commit crimes using Bitcoin, like money laundering, buying weapons, buying drugs. Bitcoin doesn't encourage that kind of activity because of the UTXO, the unspent transaction output that we discussed previously. Okay, so the other channel again doesn't understand that, the UTXO. So tayo lang ang nagpaliwanag nun in plain layman's term. Alright, they are still stuck on the PSE. What are we going to buy? What are we going to buy this week? Anong bobombahin this week? Blah blah blah. So they can stress all themselves into that kind of miserable thinking, while us, we just relax and then let's just watch how the world is shaping up on this pandemic, inflation, etc., and this pedophilia happening in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine. Okay, so Bitcoin is the opposite of inflation. You stop inflation, you stop what? You stop war, because war, how do you fund? How do you make war? You cannot make war without money, all right? Without funding. Who's funding our wars right now? It's being both sides of the war, for example, Russia and Ukraine. It's being funded by the same people. Both sides are being funded by the same people. Those who are in control of who? In control of gold, in control of the money, in control of oil. Okay, so all of those are connected to inflation. So inflation is what? Inflation is the product of central banking. Okay? So you stop inflation, you stop poverty. Why? Because poverty is not because somebody does not, the lack of income is the fault of somebody else having lack of education. So hindi ganun yun. Alright? Somehow, our resources here in the world, on earth, are given to us for free. The oxygen, the earth, the plants that we can harvest on, the animals that we can raise on, that we can raise and made into food ourselves, and then the materials, the wood, the rocks, they can be used to build homes, etc., etc. Diba? So those resources are given to us. Hindi tayo nagkulang. So hindi nagkulang ang nature actually has so much for us to not to be poor, okay? So yun lang yun. So poverty is man-made. Okay, so if you're poor, let's say you're homeless, it's easy. Just go somewhere, just go into the forest, into the fields, plant some fruits, plant some crops, and then raise some poultry, raise some livestock, and then you'll be living on your own, okay? Diba? You don't even need money. So you stop inflation, you stop these scamdemics, these fake demics, all these man-made pandemics. Okay, so this bacteria, yung mga bacteria naman ng the nature's bacteria will not go, is not meant to kill people, di ba? Hindi naman sila ini-evolve on purpose ng nature. Alright, so for example, if we drink dirty water, of course we're going to get diarrhea. No? But if you put something in that water, of course people will going to get diarrhea, di ba? Ganun yung COVID eh. Yung COVID is not made by God. It was developed in some of the biolabs which was been confirmed already, may ebidensya naman. It was developed in Wuhan and in some biolabs in Ukraine. That's why Ukraine is being bombed by Russia because of this, okay? So yun. So you stop inflation, you stop that madness, okay? And then starvation, famine, and greed. You stop them all together when you stop inflation. Bakit? Who's controlling food? Of course, the elites, okay, the supply of food. Now, what's the news going on around the world right now? They are announcing food shortages, global food shortages. If you go into Google global food shortages, they are no longer shy about it. Okay, it is not prediction. They are not forecasting it. That is the intention. That is the plan. They are not saying there will be food shortage because they have problem in the supplies and then they have problem in the supply chain. No, that's not the case. They already plan it. They already on their way to make that happen. Who's they? Of course, those who are on the top of the inflation chain, yung mga bankers, mga central bankers, the elite, the Khazar Mafia, George Soros, the Rothschild family, all of them together on this, okay? So they are on this together. They are perpetrating this to the rest of humanity, okay? Greed. You stop inflation, you stop greed. Kasi wala nang silbi ang pera. Pag wala nang silbi ang pera, there's no more greed, all right? And that's what Bitcoin fixes. And that's why when you ask George Soros about Bitcoin, when you ask people in the European Central Banks, in the Bank of International Settlement about Bitcoin, they will tell you it's a bad thing. Okay? It uses a lot of energy. It's not environmentally friendly. So now we will go in the future. Let me note on that. Climate change is also part of this bigger scam. Bitcoin also fixes climate change. It's also one large scam that these guys are trying to put on, or to do on the rest of the humanity. All right. Inflation is man-made, alright? So God will not fix it for humanity. Only humans, or only the people themselves who are already awake, will fix that for themselves. Okay, we will going to fix it for ourselves. Of course, using Bitcoin. That's our weapon of choice to fix inflation. And how are we going to do that? We've been discussing about putting a Bitcoin mining rig for every household, so that every household will no longer be dependent on universal basic income, etc., etc. Yung mga, if you're worried about where to get your next income, you don't need to worry about it when you're running a Bitcoin mining rig within your household. So, diba? People aren't talking about that. Why? Because they want to keep that secret. Because every neighbor, every one of your friends, neighbors, relatives, etc., figured out, and they were convinced that, hey, kailangan pala natin mag-Bitcoin mining sa bahay natin. Tapos na ang istorya. Everybody's doing Bitcoin mining. Everyone is what? Generating income. That's the whole point. Forget about the cost, because the cost eventually will going to pay for itself. Bitcoin mining will going to pay for itself. For a start, you need a capital. And the capital is not really cheap. Okay, so but once every household at least get one Bitcoin rig mining, it's a start of something revolutionary. Meaning it beats even the universal basic income that these elitists, the globalists, are proposing to the rest of humanity. Yung universal basic income is the only purpose of that is to enslave you further and take away your freedom, take away your liberty, and your rights. Kasi sabihin nila, you're dependent on us now because you're given universal basic income. In exchange for that, wala ka ng freedom. And Bitcoin fixes that, and Bitcoin resisted that. Okay? So, ano ba yung inflation? Inflation is debt-based financial system, meaning the central banks, example of that is the Bank of International Settlement, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the rest of the central banks around the world, they just print money, and then they just distribute this money to the banks, lend it to the banks for an interest. They don't call it interest anyway. They call it inflation rate year on year. Okay? So for the use of that Mickey Mouse money, for the use of that paper, they charge you 2%, 10%, depending on how much inflation they want to put on you. Okay, so ganun ang ginagawa nila for hundreds of years now. From now, 200 years now, yan ang ginagawa ng mga globalists. Okay, mga central bankers, the globalists that sometimes pretending to be communists. Alright? So yan ang, they distribute this phony money, their paper money around the world, and then charge the sovereign, the governments, the countries, inflation rates. That's how they make money, from the inflation rates. Okay? So when the problem, ito yung problem niyan, the debt-based financial system has one dark side. Okay? So if one country decided, hey, we're not interested with your money anymore, I don't want to borrow money from IMF, World Bank, etc., etc., what will happen? Okay, they will going to make story on that country. That country is what? Is is a totalitarian, authoritarianism, and the democracy should be restored in that country because the leader is not what? Because the leader is not borrowing money from them, okay? So they will going to what? Change the regime. Give me an example. Lebanon, Libya? No, Libya. Okay, si Gaddafi. Gaddafi has more gold than what? Than Canada. Canada has zero gold. Okay? So, Gaddafi has more gold than most of the most of the African countries, yung mga neighboring countries niya. Okay? And then, he doesn't care about IMF and World Bank anymore. I don't want to borrow money from you because I don't need your money. Alright? Ayun ang ano ni Gaddafi. Ayun ang argument niya. Okay. So, ito sila Hillary Clinton, Obama, Barack Obama. Alright. Well, we're gonna send in our troops. We're gonna send in our military to what? To take you out from that regime. So that our business will continue with the World Bank, IMF, etc., etc. Same thing with El Salvador right now. They try to do that in El Salvador. That IMF, you do Google El Salvador, Bitcoin, IMF. Okay? So ano sinasabi ni IMF about El Salvador? It's a bad idea that El Salvador is adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. Sure, it is a bad idea for them because sila yung mawawalan ng business with El Salvador. Okay, no? Now El Salvador, because their country is very poor and they cannot actually get out of the debt that World Bank and IMF is enslaving on them. They decided to use Bitcoin as a legal tender. So they're now, the economy now is improving. Okay? Improving not only by 1%, 2%, but it's improving by leaps and bounds now. They are now out of the dependencies from World Bank and IMF. Okay, so it's not making IMF and World Bank happy, but at least they cannot do anything about anything with El Salvador anymore. So the next thing is that the neighbors, Honduras and the rest of Latin America, they will going to adopt or use Bitcoin as legal tender. So that's how Bitcoin is fixing everything. So hindi lang to story na sinasabi ko sa inyo, but Bitcoin is now slowly being adopted from other countries one by one. Okay? Eventually, the central banks will collapse. No? Once will collapse. Actually, they're now in their last breath. That's why they're having this war in Ukraine, so that people are distracted. They will not focus on what's happening upon themselves. So that people will not be looking on themselves. Hey, what's going on with the central banks? Canada, Europe, United States, the Federal Reserve. What's going on with them? They're going to collapse, but they're not announcing it. They are actually on their last breath right now. 2 years, okay? 2 years of barely breathing because sila yung nagpakawala ng pandemic na yan. Sama-sama sila dyan. Yung the whole conspiracy from the central bankers to the globalists. That's what they did to the world, okay? And now, pinahihirapan pa rin nila yung mundo because they are in the verge of collapse. Pabagsak na talaga sila. They're actually collapsing and Bitcoin is about to replace them. That's how it is right now. That this is the debt-based financial system. It's a faulty system that has been going on for hundreds of years. This is why the price of McDonald's last 30 years ago is just $5 or maybe $1, and then now it's $10, okay, $15. It doesn't have to be that way. If you're out of debt-based financial system using Bitcoin, if Big Mac is 5 satoshis, it will remain as 5 satoshis forever. Okay? You don't need to raise the price of Bitcoin because the price of your lettuce, the price of your burger patty, the price of your vegetable oil is rising. Bitcoin will fix that. So there will be no more inflation because everything is based on proof of work, not debt. Not proof of work. When you say proof of work, okay, everyone is mining Bitcoin everyone is securing Bitcoin and everyone is earning Bitcoin. Okay? So balance lahat. And that's not an ideal world. It's a world that has been proven now, and we have El Salvador as the laboratorium back. Yep. So get rid of the debt-based financial system, you get rid of inflation. So Bitcoin is not debt-based. Bitcoin is not asset-backed. So this is ito yung nami-misunderstood lagi ng mga financial gurus. Those people who are in the business for more than 30 years, trading assets in Wall Street, and then they have assets under management amounting to $1 billion, $10 billion, but they don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand a bit about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not asset-backed. It's not backed by anything that we understand. Bitcoin is not gold-backed. Definitely, it shouldn't be. Okay? What is backing gold anyway? Okay, di ba meron kang gold? Oh, so what's backing gold? The demand, right? Di ba? Yung demand ng gold na nagbaback sa kanya. Nothing else. Okay? Bitcoin is backed by math and energy. Why math? Kasi it's before you can mine a block of Bitcoin, you have to solve a problem. So yung tinatawag nilang cryptocurrency, crypto technology, things like that. But the thing is that Bitcoin is not only that. Okay, crypto is just the shortcut of everything. It's just a convenient term to describe something, but Bitcoin is beyond crypto. This is why we don't associate Bitcoin with cryptocurrency or crypto asset. So it's backed by math and energy. The math that has to be performed, need to use energy. So it's backed by energy. Without energy, there's no Bitcoin. Without math, there's no Bitcoin. And energy cannot be created, and energy cannot be destroyed. Now you gets you na? Alright, so that's it about Bitcoin for this Sunday. It's 20:47 or 9:47 p.m. Yep, so I guess that's it for Soul of the Market. Alam nyo na, you guys from the other channel, the shrinkers, alam nyo na kung nasaan yung swag buying pattern. It's now automated. It's automated right in front of your very eyes. So once again, thank you very much for watching Soul of the Market. I am now ending my transmission.